Let me tell you something beautiful to begin with. You were not born to suffer. You were born to love, to create, to express, to shine. Somewhere along the way, maybe someone forgot to remind you of that. Or maybe they didn't know how. And that's okay. Because now you're here, and now is the moment where everything can begin again. People often come to me and say, "But Louise, my mind is so full of negative thoughts, it feels like I'm drowning." And I always tell them gently, sweetly, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Isn't that empowering? You see, every single moment you are thinking, whether consciously or unconsciously, your mind is whispering beliefs that become the foundation of your reality. And here's the secret. What we believe about life and about ourselves becomes true for us. If you believe you are stuck, then you will feel stuck. If you believe you are capable, then a door opens, and possibilities come rushing in like sunlight through a window you forgot you could open. Now, I want you to ask yourself something tender. What am I consistently telling myself each day? Are you saying, "I'm tired, I can't, it's too late, I always mess up"? Or are you saying, "I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm exactly where I need to be, and life supports me"? You see, every thought you think is an affirmation, not just the pretty ones you say in front of a mirror with your hand on your heart, but all of them. The ones in the quiet moments, the ones in the car, the ones you think when no one is listening. If your inner dialogue were a garden, what would it look like today? Is it blooming, or is it filled with weeds that say, "I'm not enough, I'll never change, I don't deserve love"? Because here's the truth, my darling. Your mind is a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. You get to choose what you plant. I know it sounds simple, maybe too simple. But remember, simple is not the same as easy. We've all practiced old, limiting beliefs for years, sometimes decades, and yet, with gentleness, with love, with repetition, we can soften them like melting ice in the sun. Take a deep breath right now, not a shallow one, a real breath, the kind that tells your body, "I'm safe now," because you are. One of my favorite things to say, and I say it often, is, "I am willing to change. I am willing to release the old and welcome the new." This willingness is the key, not perfection, not pressure, just the willingness. Ask yourself gently, what if I allowed myself to believe something new today? Something softer, something kinder, something that lifts instead of weighs down. You don't need to control every thought. That would be exhausting, wouldn't it? All I ask of you is to become aware. Awareness is the first step to healing. You can begin by simply noticing, "Oh, there's that old story again. Thank you, but I'm choosing a new path now." Imagine your mind as a home. For years, maybe it's had the same wallpaper, patterns of fear, lack, self-doubt, and maybe today you walk in with a paintbrush of love. You open the curtains, you let the light in. You don't need to renovate the whole house in one day. Just begin with one wall, one thought. And every time you choose a thought that supports you, that nurtures you, that says, "I am enough," you are rebuilding the home of your mind. This is how we begin to reprogram, with gentleness, with presence, with love. You are the only thinker in your mind. You are not your past. You are not your parents' voice. You are not society's judgment. You are the loving awareness choosing what stays and what goes. When I began this journey myself, I had so many painful beliefs about who I was. And I say this to you now because I know what it's like to look in the mirror and not like what you see. But I also know what it's like to look again, after months of daily loving affirmations, and begin to smile and whisper, "I see you and I love you." That shift is priceless, and it is possible for you, for everyone. So if you are asking today, where do I start? I say to you, start with the thought that you are willing to think differently. That's all. That's enough. Say this with me if you feel it. I am willing to release the old story. I am willing to think thoughts that feel good to me. I am willing to nourish myself with kindness. Can you feel the shift already? Let your thoughts be like gentle hands, holding, soothing, guiding. Let your words be like sunlight, softening the edges of fear. Let your mind become a friend again. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get present. Now that you've begun to shift your thoughts, let's go deeper into the space where true transformation happens. Because it's not just about what you think, it's about how you speak to yourself and the energy with which you carry those words. The mind learns through repetition, yes, but also through emotional safety. That's where compassion becomes our greatest tool. Let me ask you something tender. Would you speak to a child the way you speak to yourself in your quiet moments? When you drop something, when you forget, when you fail? Pause with that for a second, because the answer reveals the energy you're bathing your inner world in. I am safe. Can you feel how soft that is? How powerful? That little phrase, when whispered with love, can undo years of tension, not all at once, but breath by breath, moment by moment. People often believe they need to yell at themselves to change, that if they're strict enough, mean enough, disappointed enough, somehow they'll become better. But change doesn't happen through shame, it happens through love. I want to tell you a secret. The gentler you are with yourself, the more your mind listens. Just like a flower blooms when the sunlight is warm, your subconscious opens when it feels safe. And that's what we're doing together, creating a new emotional climate within you, one where healing is possible. Try this with me now, quietly, kindly. It's okay to grow slowly. I am safe. I am capable. Repeat it like a lullaby. Let it seep into your bones. Let it become the new language of your life. There's no race. There's no finish line. Every thought you speak is like water to the seed of your being. And you don't yell at seeds to grow. You water them consistently, gently, lovingly. You see, the inner critic is just an old voice, a frightened one that tried to protect you by pushing you. But now you're learning that the most powerful changes come from inner peace, not inner war. Have you ever noticed how your body reacts to different tones of voice? A harsh voice tightens your chest. A soft one invites you to exhale. That's how it works inside too. What if you chose to speak to yourself with the same voice you would use with someone you deeply love? Every cell in your body hears you. That's not a metaphor. That's biology. And when you speak with love, you send healing instructions to your entire system. So let's practice this, not just in the mirror, but in the grocery line, at work, in traffic, in silence. Every moment is a chance to whisper something beautiful to yourself. Try this. I give myself permission to be new today. I am no longer available for self-punishment. It is safe to feel peace. Now let's talk about something that most people don't realize. Your energy speaks louder than your words. You might say all the affirmations, but if you say them with doubt, with tightness, with fear, the body hears the fear, not the words. Your energy is your first language. It's how you enter a room. It's the weight or the lightness behind your smile. It's the truth your tone carries. And your energy is shaped by the thoughts you think most often. I want to ask you now, what are you broadcasting through your tone, your posture, your presence? You don't need to be perfect, but are you leaning toward fear or toward love? You can feel this difference, can't you? When someone speaks to you with kindness, even without words, your whole nervous system relaxes, and you can become that person for yourself. You don't have to wait for a perfect life to create calm. Calm is a choice, not a reward. Protect your peace by choosing calm, not chaos. Even in the midst of mess, even in uncertainty, especially then. This doesn't mean you ignore your pain. No, it means you hold your pain like you would hold a crying child, with presence, not panic. Think of energy like perfume. You don't have to announce it, you just wear it, and others feel it, and most importantly, you feel it. So today, become curious about your energy, not to judge, not to fix, but to witness, to feel into, to gently ask, what energy do I want to live in today? Maybe it's softness, maybe it's groundedness, maybe it's joy. Whatever it is, you can start to create it from within. Say this with me. I am the keeper of my peace. I am allowed to feel good. I choose the energy I walk in today. This is what it means to reprogram. Not forcefully, but lovingly. Not overnight, but every day. And remember, you are the thinker in your mind. You hold the pen. You write the story. Let that story be gentle. Let it be kind. Let it make room for mistakes, for growth, for becoming. I believe in you, and more importantly, I want you to believe in you too. Let me share something that changed my life. Where your attention goes, energy flows. I used to spend hours, days, sometimes years focusing on what I didn't want. The fear, the past, the pain. And what did I find? More of it. Life kept echoing back exactly what I was feeding with my focus. Then one day, I asked myself the simplest question. What if I focused on what I love? And everything began to shift. You see, your focus is not just attention, it's creative power. Every time you place your attention on something, you're watering it with energy. That's why when we obsess over what's wrong, we often feel stuck. Not because we are stuck, but because we've forgotten we have the power to look elsewhere, to gently, lovingly shift our gaze toward light. I often tell people, you are the power in your world, and that means you get to choose where your mind goes. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending the hard things don't exist. It means choosing what you want to nourish with your inner light. Imagine this. Your thoughts are rays of sunlight, and whatever you shine them on begins to grow. Now ask yourself, what are you growing today? Are you growing resentment, fear, doubt, or are you growing joy, purpose, peace? What we focus on expands. This is not wishful thinking. This is the law of life. You are an energy being. Your attention is sacred. You can use it like a laser beam of healing or scatter it in 1,000 directions and feel drained. But don't worry, my dear. This is not about being perfect. It's about being conscious, with love, with breath, with softness. Let's try this together. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Breathe in, breathe out, and whisper, I focus on peace, purpose, and joy. Can you feel your body responding to that? That's not imagination. That's energy shifting. That's presence returning. Now I know there will be days when the mind is noisy, There will be moments when distractions feel louder than your heart's whisper. And when that happens, don't fight the noise. Don't shame yourself. Just return. Again and again. Return to your breath. Return to your center. Return to what you love. I like to say, you don't have to attend every thought that knocks. Not every thought deserves your focus. Not every fear deserves your energy. When you notice yourself spiraling, pause and ask gently, is this helping me grow? And if not, bless the thought and release it, like a cloud passing in the sky. I now choose a better feeling thought. Think of focus like a flashlight in the dark. You may be surrounded by unknowns, by fears, by what-ifs. But wherever you point your light, that's what you will see. So if you point it at gratitude, guess what multiplies? If you point it at beauty, it shows up more and more. This doesn't mean we ignore our pain. It means we don't live in it. We visit, we witness, we breathe, and then we gently shift. Because you were never meant to live in darkness. You are meant to shine. Let me remind you of something essential. I am in the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. That is a powerful focus. That is a declaration of trust in life's timing. And oh, how life responds when we trust. Try saying this with me. Today, I place my focus where it nourishes me. I give my energy to what heals me. I give my love to what grows me. That's the path. One moment at a time. Now, I know some of you might be wondering, what if my thoughts are always scattered? Or what if I can't seem to hold focus for long? That's okay, my love. That is so okay. Focus, like a muscle, becomes stronger with gentle repetition. Not force, not pressure, just kindness, just return. When you catch your thoughts drifting, just say softly, "Come back, sweetheart. Let's focus on what feels good now." Be your own loving guide. And remember, you train the mind the way you would guide a child, with patience, consistency, and endless compassion. You are doing better than you think, even now, even here. Focus is not about cutting everything out. It's about choosing what matters most. It's about honoring your vision. It's about becoming a conscious gardener of your own mind. Let this be your gentle mantra. I focus on peace, purpose, and joy. And if that feels far away, simply start with, I am willing to focus on what lifts me. That willingness is enough. You are enough. You are not your doubt. You are the love behind the doubt. And that love is more powerful than anything that tries to keep you small. People often come to me and say, Louise, I just don't believe in myself. And I always smile gently and remind them, doubt is only a habit, not a truth. You see, no one is born doubting. We learn to doubt through repeated messages, through moments of shame, through experiences that left small bruises on our self-worth, through a world that sometimes forgot how to mirror our greatness. But anything that's learned can be unlearned. And with love, patience, and repetition, we can begin again. This is not about pretending you never feel afraid. It's about noticing the moment fear whispers and choosing not to let it be the only voice you hear. Let me ask you tenderly, what would happen if you stopped believing your doubt and started listening to your becoming? What if every time you thought, I can't, you gently said, I'm learning? That little phrase, so soft and kind, holds so much power. It says, I'm not there yet, but I'm on the way. And that's all you ever need to be. I always say, the point of power is in the present moment. That means every moment you become aware of your thoughts, every time you catch yourself in an old story, You have a new chance to choose again. You can interrupt the voice of shame and invite the voice of truth, not with force, not with punishment, but with compassion. So many of us were taught that if we're hard on ourselves, we'll improve, that if we criticize ourselves enough, we'll finally be good. But that's not how flowers grow. They don't bloom because someone scolded them. They bloom because the sun came out, because the soil was kind, because the conditions were safe, and you deserve those same conditions within your own mind. Your soul blooms in safety. You are allowed to be the one who provides that. You are the loving gardener of your inner world. You are the caretaker of your own becoming. Try saying this with me now. I believe in the me that's unfolding. Can you feel how your body softens with those words? How your heart exhales? That's you coming home to yourself. That's your nervous system responding to kindness. That's your subconscious saying, "Thank you for seeing me." Now let's talk about the mind. Oh, the mind. So busy, so quick, so full of loops and worries and what-ifs. But I want you to know something important. Most of that noise is not about now. It's the past knocking, or the future pulling. The mind runs back and forth like a pendulum, but your power, your creative magic, your healing presence lives only in this moment. The now is your sacred space. It is where you create. It is where you breathe. It is where you heal. The now is where love lives. Let's return there now, gently, together. Take a deep breath, in, out, and whisper, right here, right now, I am safe. I am whole. I am enough. And if your mind resists, that's okay. Let it be. Repeat again, right here, right now. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you are meant to be to begin anew. Sometimes I ask people to pause and name 3 things they're grateful for in this moment. Not big things, not achievements, just what is here. It might be the softness of your sweater, the steady beat of your heart, the light coming through the window, the fact that you're reading this right now, choosing your healing. Gratitude is a bridge to presence. It's an anchor, a balm, a miracle in motion. It reminds us that while the mind may wander, the heart knows how to stay. And each time you return, you strengthen that presence. So if your thoughts start racing, if old stories try to return, just come back. No shame, no blame, no judgment. Just come back. Gently, lovingly, over and over. I am here now. I am okay now. I choose peace now. Let presence be your practice, not perfection, not performance. Just this moment, held in love, held in awareness, held in trust. You don't need to fix everything today. You don't need to figure it all out. You just need to be here, fully, gently. Because when you are present, you are powerful. And when you believe in yourself, not as perfect but as possible, you become a channel for miracles. You become someone who lives aligned with truth. You become someone who shows up for life with an open heart. So say this with me. I release the past. I trust the future. I choose the now. Let that be your rhythm, your returning, your refuge. Let that be the ground you stand on when doubt tries to rise again. Because it will, and that's okay. But now you have the tools to meet it with grace. Doubt fades when love rises. Fear dissolves when presence leads. And you, my dear, are the presence. You are the love. You are the light. My dear, I want you to hear this with every cell of your being. You do not have to suffer to succeed. You do not have to live in a state of panic to prove your worth. You do not need to push yourself to the edge just to be enough. Peace is not the opposite of productivity. It is the foundation of it. Let me say that again because it is so important. Calm is not laziness. Stillness is not apathy. Softness is not weakness. These are the very qualities that allow you to think clearly, act intentionally, and live from a place of purpose rather than pressure. I have seen too many people believe that unless they are exhausted, they haven't done enough. That unless they are busy, they are not valuable. But your worth is not tied to how fast you move. Your worth is not measured by how much you get done. You are valuable because you exist. You are enough just as you are. People often come to me with tension in their shoulders, tightness in their chest, and a heavy sigh they don't even notice anymore. And I ask them gently, what would happen if you stopped striving for a moment and simply allowed yourself to be? The answer is often tears, tears of relief. Tears of remembering that life is not meant to be a marathon of stress. You were not designed for chaos. You were born for peace. That's why your whole body sighs when you sit under a tree. That's why your nervous system slows when you take a deep breath. The body always knows the truth. It remembers what peace feels like. Let's reclaim that now, not someday, not when everything is done, but now. Let's retrain the mind to see rest as sacred. Let's teach our nervous systems that ease is allowed, not just allowed, essential. Say this with me. My rest is sacred. I allow ease to guide me. Peace is part of my power. Again, slower this time. My rest is sacred. I allow ease to guide me. Peace is part of my power. How does that feel in your body? Let yourself receive those words like warm sunlight. Let them settle into your bones. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to do less and trust more. The world has taught us that stress is noble, that busyness is a badge of honor. But what if we unlearn that? What if we reclaimed a new definition of success, one rooted in presence, in joy, in peace? Calm minds create clearer paths. This is not just poetic, it's practical. When you are calm, you can hear your intuition. When you are calm, you are more creative. When you are calm, you respond instead of react. So if your to-do list feels endless, if your day feels like it's rushing ahead without you, pause, just for a moment, hand on heart, hand on belly, and say, I am allowed to do this differently. I am allowed to move with grace. What if you began each day not with panic, but with presence? What if the first thing you asked was not, what do I have to do, but how do I want to feel? What if you began to measure your life not by tasks, but by tenderness? You see, the mind can be retrained. That's what this whole journey is about. You can teach your mind that peace is productive, that peace is powerful, that peace gets things done without burning you out in the process. Your inner calm is a magnet for clarity. It's what helps you hear your own truth. It's what helps you stay aligned even when the world is noisy. It's what allows you to work from a place of inspiration instead of obligation. So often we think we need to earn rest. But what if rest was your starting point? What if peace was your practice, not your prize? Try this for a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine your breath as a wave, moving in and out. With each breath, whisper gently to yourself, I deserve to feel ease. I am safe to relax. My value is not measured by my pace. Feel the shift. That's your body remembering. That's your spirit exhaling. That's the truth you've always known, rising back to the surface. If you find yourself pushing again, striving again, falling back into old patterns, be kind. No judgment, just notice, and choose again. Every moment is a doorway. Every breath is a beginning. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing broken. You are simply unlearning. You are simply returning. And remember, peace is not passive. Peace is active. Peace is choosing grace over chaos, trust over tension, intention over urgency. Peace is powerful because it aligns you with the rhythm of life, and life moves in cycles, not sprints. The seasons rest, the moon rests, even the ocean has tides. You are allowed to do the same. Say this with me once more. My rest is sacred. I allow ease to guide me. Peace is part of my power. Let those words be your compass. Let them be your prayer. Let them be the new language you speak to your heart. Because when you live from peace, everything changes. Your health improves. Your relationships deepen. Your creativity blossoms. Your decisions become clearer. Because you're no longer rushing from a place of fear. You're moving from a place of love. And so, as you go forward from this moment, carry this knowing in your heart. You do not have to stress to succeed. You are allowed to walk gently, speak slowly, rest deeply, and still create a life of purpose. You are allowed to thrive without tension. You are allowed to feel good and do good at the same time. You are allowed to live with peace at the center. I want to say to you, with all the love I've gathered in this lifetime, you are not here to be ruled by fear. You are here to remember your light. And that remembering begins when you speak to yourself with kindness, when you choose thoughts that nurture, not punish. The mind is not your master, it's your student. And like any student, it needs consistency. It needs gentleness. It needs time. But most of all, it needs a teacher who believes in it. So let me remind you, with every breath of love I can send, you are the teacher of your mind, and you're doing beautifully. The more loving your voice becomes, the more your life begins to soften. The more you shift your inner dialogue, the more peace finds a home in your heart. And from that peace, everything begins to bloom. Your confidence, your creativity, your courage, your joy. Say softly with me now, not just with your mouth, but with your heart. I train my mind in kindness. I train my thoughts in truth. I am becoming who I choose to be. And may you always remember, you are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply returning to the truth of who you've always been. You are the thinker in your mind. You hold the pen. You write the story. Go write it in love. Go live it in trust. Go rest in the knowing that life loves you. And so do I.